Good morning. Hayom Yom, Chof Aleph Tammuz. So the 3 weeks between Shiva Asar B'Tammuz and Tisha B'Av are known as the 3 weeks, or the Beis Hamikdash, which is the time between the two catastrophes, or the time that the Jews are in pain. And that expression in Beis Hamikdash actually comes from the Nach. It comes from the book of Eicha. And it's a time when us Jews mourn for and are very sad about the destruction of the temple, the destruction of the Beis Hamikdash. And both the first and the second Beis Hamikdash were both actually destroyed at the end of the 3 weeks on Tisha B'Av. And basically the point of no return essentially was 3 weeks earlier on Shiva Asar B'Tammuz. By the first Beis Hamikdash, that's when the siege got so bad that they ran out of food that they had to stop the sacrifices in the Beis Hamikdash. And by the second siege, on Shiva Asar B'Tammuz is when the Romans breached the wall and broke into the city, and at that point it was over. And during these 3 weeks, we mourn in all kinds of ways, and the Rebbe tells us that additionally to all the other kinds of mourning, one of the things that we do, or one of the things we don't do, is we do not make the Shehecheyanu blessing throughout the 3 weeks during the Beis Hamikdash. Because the Shehecheyanu blessing is where we convey our joyful gratitude to Hashem for giving us whatever it is. And this time of mourning is not a time for excessive displays of joy, and therefore we don't make that blessing. Then for the content of today's Hayom Yom, so the Rebbe chose to talk about the destruction, the Churban, and what it means in the human experience, what it means personally to us. And basically the Rebbe begins with a very important premise, which is that in general, when we talk about building the Beis Hamikdash and the tragedy of the destruction of the Beis Hamikdash, and we want Mashiach, we want to rebuild the Beis Hamikdash. So of course there is the element of the physical structure and the physical building, but nobody really cares about. It's not about some building in Jerusalem. Nobody cares about the building or the structure. It's about me and you. It's about us. That the destruction occurred in our lives, and we want to connect with Hashem in our lives. We want to rebuild our lives. And basically, he begins that premise by quoting a pasuk, a very famous pasuk, the pasuk where Hashem describes why he wants the Mishkan, why he wants a sanctuary, why he wants a Beis Hamikdash. And Hashem says, I want the Jews to build me a sanctuary, v'shechanti b'seicham, so that I can have a place to live. But the wording is very, very strange. He doesn't say, so I can live in it, I can live in that house, I can live in that structure, my presence will rest in the sanctuary. He uses the words v'shechanti b'seicham, so that I'll be able to live amongst them. I'll have a place to live and dwell amongst them. And Chazal were the first people to point out this weird wording. And Chazal say something very, very powerful. Chazal say, people think that the reason why Hashem wants a Beis Hamikdash, the reason why Hashem wants a Mishkan, is so that he has some holy building to rest in and he has some holy sanctuary. He says, God doesn't care about the building. It's not about the building. The reason why Hashem wants to have a building, the reason why Hashem wants the Jews to build a Mishkan and to build a Beis Hamikdash, is because through the Mishkan and through the Beis Hamikdash, Hashem is able to connect with Jews. That's how Jews best connect to Hashem, through the Mishkan, through the Beis Hamikdash, and that's where Hashem best connects with the Jews. But the purpose, ultimately, is for Hashem to find a home in Jewish hearts, in Jewish minds. Hashem will connect with the Jews, and the Jews will connect with Hashem. Hashem wants to, v'shechanti b'seicham, I want to live in them. I want to dwell within them. I want to dwell with the Jews. I want to connect with the Jews. Hashem wants you as his partner. Hashem wants to connect with you. Hashem wants you to be his home, and he wants you to be. He wants to find his home in you, and he wants you to find your home in him. And that's all he wants. That's why he wants the whole Beis Hamikdash. That's why when we talk about wanting Mashiach, it's not about wanting some weird building. It's about wanting your heart. That Hashem wants your heart and wants your mind and wants to connect with you and live with you. And that is what Chazal essentially say. And based on this premise, the Rebbe is going to discuss and analyze certain things that we say about the physical structure of the Beis Hamikdash and the physical Churban, and basically apply that to our Churban, or our connection with Hashem, or our lack of connection with Hashem. And the Rebbe says that about the physical Churban, so in the Medrash Rabbah, the Chazal say something very interesting. They say that even though the physical structure of the Beis Hamikdash was destroyed, even though the city was laid to waste and it was a wreck and a mess and it was destruction and chaos and dirty and broken down, it is only what was built on the spot of the Beis Hamikdash got destroyed and got destroyed and destructed and the Churban occurred. But the actual spot, the actual ground, the sacred ground, nothing has ever happened to it. There's no change. It's as holy as it was before. And then it spells it out even more. It says, although there was destruction, the Shechina never left the Koisel Hamaravi, the western wall, which is the area in the Beis Hamikdash where the Kodesh HaKodashim was, the holiest spot. So that spot, the Shechina never left from that spot. And some Mefarshim even explain that the reason why God made that physically the western wall was never destroyed is because the western wall embodies and represents the element of Shechina, which will never leave, which will never depart, the Etzem. And because of that, to mirror that, the physical structure of the western wall was never destroyed because they can't either really essentially be destroyed, at least conceptually. And that's what Chazal say, that even though on the surface everything was destroyed, the actual spot was never destroyed. The place itself remains holy, even if everything about the place is disgusting, even if on the layer and the surface level everything is destroyed. And the Rebbe says the exact same thing applies to me and you. The exact same thing applies to every single Jew. That even if in our lives the surface level is a mess, is destroyed, is there's a churban, even if we sin and do bad things and act like bad people and we destroy our lives essentially, we destroy our lives, destroy everything in our lives, our life, you look at us, we're a mess, we're destruction, we're a churban. He says that's only in the surface level. A human being at his core is always good, is always connected, is always holy, is always pure. Hashem is always there, and you are always with Hashem, and you always want Hashem. And that can never be touched, that can never be soiled, that can never be destroyed. No matter how messy it gets on the surface, internally you're good. And he says there's another pasuk and another Meimar Chazal that actually describe that state of being. And the pasuk is in Shir Ashir, and the pasuk says, Ani yeshena v'libi ar. I am sleeping, I'm asleep, but my heart is awake. My heart's alive. My heart is still here. And Chazal say that this is referring to the Jewish people, and it means that with my body in action, I'm out for lunch. I'm a mess. I'm sleeping. I'm asleep at the wheel. He says, I'm not doing any mitzvahs. I'm not doing any tzedakah. I'm acting like a monster. I'm in a bad place. My life's a churban in action. But internally, at my core, at my heart level, I'm good. I'm alive. I'm pure. I want to do mitzvahs. I love Hashem. I want Hashem, and that's really all I care about deep down. I'm just not connecting with that on the conscious level so much. And the Rebbe basically concludes by saying that although some people have this excuse that in my heart I'm a good person, it doesn't matter what I do. No, of course it's important how we act and what we do, and we need to rebuild the Beis Hamikdash, we need to rebuild our lives, we need to be good, healthy human beings in our day-to-day lives. But the key thing to bear in mind is that even when our lives are a mess and destroyed, we are not bad people. And it's not that we're bad people, so we need to act good to become good people, and we don't want to be bad people. We are good people. We are good, holy, pure people. So how can we not act good? How can we continue acting bad if we are good? It's not that we're bad, so we need to connect and do the right thing to become a good person. We are good people, so let's just do the right thing. Why wouldn't you do the right thing if that's just who you are anyway? And really it's who you want to be, and it disgusts you to be a bad person and do the wrong thing. Because naturally, intuitively, we feel Golus, we feel Mashiach, we want the Beis Hamikdash, and when our lives are out of touch with that, that's very painful for us above anyone else. So yeah, Mashiach now, have a wonderful, wonderful day.